Alright, this is a tribute from Wendy in the UK, that's Glenn's common law. Firstly, it was an honor, privilege, and pleasure to have known and loved Glenn in addition to his wonderful and unique mother. I do not have the words to put to paper, but I will try to express my deep respect, gratitude, and sincere thanks for the role that Glenn and his mother played in our lives. They were truly loved and respected by us all and our extended family as well. When I first met Glenn, I was with my father at a family party. From the heart were his first words. He spoke of his love of his mother and his children, and then onto the love his mother had for her children. Glenn spoke of his childhood, how he was constantly at his mother's cocktail, and that he was the wash belly. Imagine Glenn recalling his earliest memories of his mother when he first met me. It was clear to see the influence Tawny had on Glenn from our first conversation, and indeed, the very next day, I found myself speaking to Tawny by a telephone. After the conversation with Tawny, I understood why Glenn was so influenced. Glenn would state, "Not even fly can pitch panorama, man." I suppose one of the main things Glenn and I had in common from the earliest part of our relationship was the respect we had for our parents. Furthermore, being an open and honest to each other, as he said, "Me no want you get a shock." It was clear from the beginning that Glenn was a family man. He was extremely upset at the death of his sister Dawn, who he said knew him the best out of all his siblings and guided him while Tawny was in England. Glenn also told me about his children in Jamaica, how important they were to him, and also the things he used to do and things he learned as a consequence of his action. And one thing for sure, he was not going to do these things again. It's so difficult to speak about Glenn without speaking about Tawny, as you can see from what I've said so far. They are both in heaven and are severely missed by all who knew them. Some people leave us with a feeling of their presence, which Chad, Kamara, and I will always feel, even though Glenn and Tawny are no longer with us. When I first met Tawny, and up until the day she passed, I could feel her love and the other qualities that shone from her, such as her faith, dedication, her strength, love of family, and intense resilience. These she passed on to Glenn, which he utilized to the best of his abilities, through good and bad times. Another quality that Tawny had that was passed on to Glenn was how to be steadfast, to take everything in stride, and to never give up. Tawny made sure she kept going. She did not give up and was not afraid to meet her maker when her time came, something that Glenn too was also able to do. He never gave up and was not afraid of anything or anyone. On another note, Glenn was so similar to his mother. They watched the same TV shows over there in England and would listen to the gospel radio shows on Sunday morning. He would phone Tawny and say, "You all listen to the show?" Sometimes when the songs sweet them, they would phone each other to sing the hymns together whilst the radio was playing in the back. On a Friday night, Glenn would go to visit Tawny, armed with box juices, Lamborghini wine, and fried chicken. She loved fried chicken. Glenn and Tawny believed in God and upheld their faith to the very end. I asked Glenn, "What is up now?" He would say, "I'm doing like my mother said, holding on to God's unchanging hands. I know for sure that they are reunited in heaven." Just a final thought, we will all die. The goal is not to live forever, but to create something that will. It wasn't the length of life in Glenn's case or Tawny's case, but the depth of life. Tawny hasn't died, neither did Glenn. They will both live on in their children, grandchildren, and the generations to come.
Tribute from Dame, sister-in-law to Glenn. The first time I saw Winter was with my late husband, Johnny. I was coming from work. As I approached my road, I could hear a whole heap of loud talking. I knew it was Johnny, but I could not figure out who he was speaking with. But I knew it was draw it down now. He had a habit of bringing 1 and 2 people to the house who he knew from Jamaica in an effort to what he called help them most at England. He introduced this tall brown man to me by saying